During our introduction of the content for this channel, I talked to you guys about some of the stuff that I accomplished and some of the reasons why I do what I do. But I want to tell you more of the story of how it all started. I was in a place where I was doing hip hop, and I was extremely blessed to have people want to come out and rock with me on stage. But I definitely felt burdened by the amount of time I spent away from the home and how much direction I didn't have. I was just hoping that one day we'd be successful enough that I would be able to provide for my family in California. And my wife was wondering how long I would have to be gone to make that money. As the breadwinner of our household, she was a math teacher, and she had a lot of questions about our future. She knew what she wanted it to look like, and she wasn't sure necessarily if we were gonna accomplish it at all. So she started to ask me questions. Usually, they were on hikes. She was walking behind me and I was running away from her because I was just tired of the accountability. But this one specific night, we talked right before we went to sleep. My wife and I were in bed. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and she says, "Tell me your bedtime story." And I'm like, I'm just tired too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to tell you a bedtime story, but I tried and it failed. And she goes, "Well, tell me your 5-year plan." And I was like, I don't know, whatever God has for us. I don't really have a plan. And who has a plan? And what's the point of a plan? And then she looks at me and she goes, "I trust you with my family and my future. And you don't have 5 years planned out?" Rolled over and went to sleep. Now I am stuck. I'm sitting there trying to figure out, what does that even mean? I'm looking at the popcorn ceiling, thinking about my life, and I realized I needed to talk to someone. I called one of my friends who asks really hard questions. His name is Scotty James. Scotty James invites me to his office. He clears his whiteboard and says, "What's your 5-year plan?" And I said, "I don't know." He said, "What's your 10-year plan?" I said, "I do not know." And he said, "What's your 15-year plan?" And I said, "I know I don't want to be rapping at 45. So he said, "Well, what do you want to be doing?" I said, I want to be telling people how great it is to be a father." I just blurted it out like that. And it's something interesting about wanting to prolong something 15 years, because it was like, that's never going to happen. But eventually, by the time I'm 45, I should be a lot more sophisticated. And maybe I should be talking about this thing that has really changed my life, this fatherhood thing. He says, "Tell me more about that. Who are these people you want to be talking to?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. In 15 years, they'll be fathers, so I guess they're like in middle school right now." He goes, "Where are they?" I said, "They're in middle school." He said, "No, where's their attention?" I said, it's on the internet." He said, "Okay, where at on the internet?" So we looked it up, and I said, "Oh, they're probably on Facebook, they're probably on Snapchat, they're probably on YouTube and Instagram." And this is 2015. He's like, "Okay, well, how often do you have to post on these platforms for 15 years in order for you to reach these people?" And we looked it up. How do you grow a platform? And it was once a week on YouTube, twice a day on Twitter, once a day on Instagram. He's like, "Okay, well, if you do this for 15 years, you should be able to reach these people, and then you can talk to them however you want to talk to them. What do you want to be doing?" I said, "I want to be speaking and writing books." I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, let's find those people. Let's work backwards." Now, a lot of people, they come up to me and they say, "I want to do what you do," but they don't have a why. See, before I actually knew what I wanted to do, I knew what I was passionate about. I knew that people needed to understand the value of fatherhood. And that was my aha moment. And once I realized that I could just say it like that, nothing else got in my way. Everything else was kind of like, you might want to move because I'm coming for you. And I want to accomplish these goals. It all started with my wife asking me a tough question and giving me great accountability. And once I got that accountability, I realized that this is where I want to be going in 15 years. Now I know where I want to be going in 15 years. Where should I be in 5 years? Let me tell you something, none of that mattered. Because after 2 years, I had hit every single goal that I wanted to hit. I was writing books. I was speaking to the people that I wanted to reach. See, once you have your why, everything is kind of complete. But people don't start with why. The creator may start with why, but the audience member don't start with why. They just know that they're attracted to you for some reason. So it's important to discover what's in your hand, what's on your head, what's in your heart. If you guys haven't gone through the head, hand, heart process with us, man, I want to challenge you to do that. I think it's going to be very beneficial for you if you think about these questions. What do you look like? What do you identify as? It could be a nationality, it could be a language, it could be so many different things about you where people go, man, I identify with that person because They rock the same Jordans I rock, or I like their fashion style. Your identity, that silhouette that attracts people to you. But we can't just stop there. We can't just say, yo, it's just about your identity. It's just about what you look like. It doesn't lead to depth. If you don't have depth, you don't have dollars. If we think about it from the next stage, we can talk about what you're skilled at. It could be music, it could be a sport, it could be drawing, some type of gift, or speaking, or maybe you're really good at explaining things and teaching, right? This is your skill. This is what God, the gifts that God has given you, or the things that you've honed and practiced for years to become great at. I like to watch people make art. I think it's very soothing, but it doesn't just stop there, because I can't do what they do. But one thing I can get behind is the heart behind why they do what they do. And that's something that we all can connect with. We all have a heartbeat. We're all marching to the same beat. It's like a metronome, that internal clock that keeps moving us forward. So if you can connect with someone's why, it means everything. I wonder if you can identify yourself. What's on your hand, what's on your head, what's in your heart. Remember, your head is your identity, your hand is your gifting or your skill, and your heart is your why. Do you know how to identify those things? Let us know in the comment section below. Now, if you can't do that, that's okay, because the next video, I'm gonna be going in depth and picking apart some examples of great hand, head, heart exercises and people who are doing it amazingly. I wanna challenge you to try to identify those things yourself. But look, if you don't wanna do it by yourself and you're a little reluctant, you can always do it through us. And I'm sure we can help you find your story and find your people.